Well, hello to all of our rain partners out there. This is Byron Belka here in Spanish Fork, Utah this morning. Excited to get on another one of these training calls and go over the basics of the business. And the rain cycle is just that. How do we make it rain in your business? What are the proven principles that help streamline your organization so that people are putting the right energy and right activity, to have their businesses move forward? Now, I'm excited about this topic today as we get into the lifestyle, because what I really want people to understand when we're talking about the rain cycles, you can kind of see this is the sixth step. Now, it's a cycle, so it's not like we just end here. This is something that we go over again and again and again and again. And as we hone in our skill set, as we realize the principles and what we're really trying to accomplish, and we become more efficient at not only doing these different principles but teaching these principles, then you're going to see not only your team but your organization continue to grow and move forward at a pace and a quicker pace. So as we get into this um, part of the rain cycle, I want people to realize that when you're thinking of the lifestyle, Rain is a lifestyle company. This isn't something that we clock in and clock out of. This is a lifestyle. It's not a job. Rain is a place for people to come and build roots, for you to have your passion, whatever that is. People can come to us from different walks of life. They can come to us with different goals, different ambitions, different things, but yet this is still one place, no matter whether somebody's wanting some additional income, whether somebody's wanting to grow personally, whether somebody's wanting some more time. No matter what it is that you're wanting, this is still the same vehicle for the masses to get there. And I want people to realize that you can build your future. You can build your dreams here at Rain. This is a place, this is a rock, a solid foundation where you can do that. I have 5 key things as I talk to people that are looking into joining us all around the world. And I'm here to tell you, we're getting more and more interest from people that have been in this industry, and that understand this industry because of what's taking place out in the marketplace, the results that we're getting with our products, and now obviously the testimonials that we're getting from an income standpoint. But when I talk to people, I tell them that there's 5 main things that I try to make sure that we always have and we're always going to do here at Rain International. And one of them is, some of them are the heart and lung functions of the business that you just have to have. We want to make sure that we have solid products that change people's lives, that are seed based, that stick to our core and who we are. I want to make sure people get a solid product and they get it on time. I want to make sure that people get their commissions accurately and on time. This is something that is at the foremost of what we're trying to accomplish at Rain. Another thing that we're constantly striving to do and be better at is we want to provide stellar customer service and recognize our people for what's going on and their efforts. This is something that's critical, because I think in today's world, people don't get recognized for the things that they're doing. Here at Rain International, we want people to know that not only do we care about them and not only are we thankful for them, but we need them. This is something that we do together. This is a company that's not mine, it's ours. And together we're going to go out there and we're going to accomplish what we need to accomplish. The next thing is we want to protect people's businesses. Guys, I've been in this industry for some time now, and I've seen a lot of times, even myself, where the companies maybe turned their eye to something they shouldn't have turned their eye to. If somebody's cross recruiting, and we're going to teach people how to build properly, or if somebody's trying to do this or take this team or whatever, I don't care who it is. I don't care how big of a distributor or Rain partner they are in our organization. Everybody follows. Everybody follows the policies and procedures, and I don't care. We will do what it needs to do to protect people's organizations. We're out there sacrificing, putting the time and energy in to build something for our future that we can will to our children, give to our posterity, be that person that makes a difference for all those generations that come after us. We need to have a company, and we need to be a company that that you can go out there, you can build deep, deep roots, and we're going to protect that. And then the last thing that I think is critical and important as important as the other ones that I'm talking about is that fifth point, and that is get out of the way. We don't want to be the obstacle or the roadblock or the reason that somebody's organization isn't moving. As long as everybody's falling in line as what we're talking about with our terms and conditions, policies and procedures, I don't want to be the reason for somebody to not be able to move forward and get out of the way and let the RAIN partners do what they do best, and that is go and build their business. That's what I focus on, and that's what we stress, because for us as well, this isn't just a company. This is a lifestyle. This is your life that we're talking about. And we want to make sure that as a company, we are that vehicle for you to get to a place that otherwise you wouldn't be able to get to provide those opportunities for you to go out there, have those stellar products, these life-changing products, changing the people's lives that you care about, that are closest to you, and people that you maybe don't even know. I can't tell you how rewarding it is as I travel around the world and I have people come up to me no matter where I go and thank me for the company, for the product. And it's not me. I mean, sometimes I feel bad that I get so much credit for things. It's not really. We've got a lot of amazing people that are behind the scenes and that are in front of the scenes, that are out there in the trenches making it happen. And so I want everybody to ask a question, and that is RAIN a part of your life? Is it a lifestyle, or is it something that you think about now and again? Is it something that you think about, yeah, I probably need to do that a little bit more? Because when it gets entwined with what your daily activities are, when you're standing in the line and it's just natural for someone, just natural for you to talk to somebody about RAIN, when people that are in your family or your friends know that RAIN is just something that you do, it is who you are, then you really are making this become part of your lifestyle. So if you think about this, figure out what gets you excited. Figure out what motivates you. What is it? Seek out those opportunities to align your goals with RAIN, because I believe that there's nothing really that we could be doing with our time and energy right now that's going to get us to those goals than active engagement in this company. I know I'm biased, I know I'm one of the owners and the president of this company, but I am that because I believe this to the core. And that's why we were able to do and were willing to do what we did when we took this company and bought it and picked up the pieces. And because I'd never seen anything like this. So are you RAIN? What are you doing, and how can you intertwine this to get you to the end result that you're after? Because I know that this is the vehicle to help you do it. It really is. So to be RAIN, I want you to ask yourself these couple of questions. Okay, do you take RAIN product wherever you go? Do you have it? I mean, the way that we've put this and positioned this in these 2-ounce packets, I love it. It's such an easy brochure. It's a brochure in and of itself. It's a good looking packet. You can take it wherever you want. You can sample it easy, but do you have them on you? Everywhere I go, just about every plane ride I'm on, I'm giving people samples that are sitting around from. They ask me what they do. It's just natural. It's normal. I always have packets so that I can have them taste it. I usually get their information. They'll become customers, or we'll put them into the business. Okay, are you branding yourself RAIN? Remember, this is your business, and you're going to see at convention, we're going to have a store, a RAIN swag store like we've never had. Are you wearing the hats, the shirts, those types of things, so people can see your business? So you're promoting your business without really even having to say it. We actually have a lot of these materials as we're getting them into the office. As I wear them around, people ask me all the time, what is that? What is RAIN? It's just an easy way for me to segue into who we are as a company. Another thing is, are you attending your RAIN events? Are you going to those RAIN events? Are you showing up to the trainings? Or is this something that's just ingrained in you? And at a young, a young networker in my life, this was ingrained into me that if there was an event, I was there. If my sponsor was in town doing a meeting, I was there. And not only was I there, but I expected my people to be there. And I could expect my people to be there because I was doing it. People aren't going to do what you're not doing. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later, but are you going to the events? Do you have cards? Do you have brochures? Do you have those things on hand that anytime you need, you can go into the back office, you can print a lot of these things off. You can go to not only print these things off, but you're going to see as you go to the store, you're going to be able to purchase these different things. So make sure you have those things on hand and that you're prepared, because a lot of times I'm sure that an opportunity's probably presented itself in front of you, and maybe you weren't as prepared as you should have been. That's happened to me so many times when I started in my business, and I realized, you know what? I just gotta be who I am and have those things on me, so that people at any time, whether it's a product to sample, whether it's some information, I can get it to them. Another thing that I want you to ask yourself is, how many meetings are you doing each week? How many meetings did you do this week? When I talk about meetings, I'm talking about how many times did you share the opportunity or invite somebody, or did you participate in something? 4 presentations a week is, in my opinion, really, really on the low end, especially if somebody's trying to do this full time. I mean, 4 meetings a day is really what we should be shooting for. 4 opportunities a day to get this in front of people, if not more. But how many did you do? Because if you didn't do 4, I mean, are you really entwining this into your life? Is this something that's really on the forefront that you're using as a vehicle to get where you need to get and want to get? Because if we don't direct where we're going, life's just going to take us where it takes us, and it's usually not going to be the place that we want to be. I was looking at statistics that I used to share years ago in some of my presentations, and trying to get online and see if those statistics still hold true. And I'm finding out that more than ever they do. Do you know that right now in North America, and I want you to think of people that you know that are 65 or older. At age 65, less than 1% of the population is wealthy. Still, this is a number that we would talk about years ago, and as I look into it, it's even worse today. Less than 1% of the population in North America at the age of 65 are wealthy. Do you know what I call that when a system is like that? When you have less than 1% of people being able to get where they're wanting to get. I call it a broken system. It's broken. You can't tell me that that's working. It's broken. We have better odds going to Vegas and just putting it all on black or red or picking a number. We have better odds of retiring financially secure than what the statistics are showing us right now down in Vegas. Now, I'm not promoting that. What I'm saying is this is what we need to be focused on. Okay, if we're not out sharing the message, if we're not out being actively engaged in our business, then our business isn't active. It's not really a business. It's a hobby at that point. You got to be doing a minimum of 4 presentations a week. And that's a way to gauge. It's not a way for me to beat you up and say you're not doing what you should be doing. It's a way for you to look at yourself and saying, is this a part of my lifestyle? Am I engaged? Am I moving forward? Because this isn't something that you can think about for a week and then put it on the shelf for a month and expect it to grow, and then think about it 2 months later and try to, do something and wonder why it's not going the direction you want it to go. Okay. The next thing I want you to look at is, do you have an active auto ship? Do you have product coming to you? Are you practicing what you're preaching? Are you a walking testimonial? You're your best and biggest billboard. People know when there's a change. They can see it. Is this something that you're doing that you can say with passion, this product has changed my life? Get that testimony. That's what it's the number one, the first step I tell people to do when they're joining the business is get a testimonial on the product. Have that experience so that you're bulletproof. So that you know that with confidence that you look people in the eye, you can look them in the eye and you can say, this product is something that you need to try and you need to get on. Okay, and do you have an active auto ship? And the reason I, excuse me, that I say a minimum of 100 CV. Now 100 CV is 2 boxes. Why? Because really, a lot of times 1 box isn't enough for you. But even if it is enough for you, how are you going to have any of these samples to hand out? How are you going to take product wherever you go if all you're doing is consuming it? You need to have product on hand. And you're going to be, if you're not doing at least 100 points a month, I know you don't have it. I know. because there's not enough product to have on hand at that point. So 100 CV is going to do more than just qualify you for more in the compensation plan. Obviously, that's the sweet spot of the comp plan. 50 points is great. It's a great start. But if you really want to capitalize on our profit system that we have here at Rain International, 100 points is where you need to be, okay, for a lot of reasons. And so the last thing that I want to bring up really quick is, do you read from the Rain cycle? Is it something that you're studying? Are you putting the good things in your brain? Are you reading at least 20 minutes a day, or not reading, or listening to something, an audio book, or something to make you better? We'll talk about that a little bit more as we go on the next slide, but this is something that you need to be doing on a daily basis. It's, once again, it's part of the lifestyle. And as you live the lifestyle, then you're going to really be able to get to that lifestyle that you're after, because we have to become who we want the end result to be before we get there. We have to see it in our mind. We have to have it in our heart before it ever manifests itself in front of us. We have to be that. We have to see that. We have to have that. And then it happens. It's pretty amazing, but it's the truth. So in looking at the lifestyle, I want to make sure that people understand that they set realistic expectations. There really isn't an overnight success. You're going to hear about them. You're going to hear about the person that joins Rain and in 45 days hits the top level. Now, if somebody does that, are we going to promote that? Absolutely, because it's amazing. But is that the norm? It's not the norm. It's not the majority of the people that are going to hit the top level of our company. That is not going to happen to them. All right? And even that person wasn't an overnight success. What you don't know, or what you don't see or haven't seen, is what they did previous, the past 10, 20, 30 years to get them to that point where they can do that. Because it didn't happen overnight for them either. Maybe it seemed like it did even in Rain, but it really didn't, because they learned how to sprint somewhere else. They learned how to sprint in another part of their life. And just because maybe you're still learning how to walk in this business, or you're new to the industry, you can't compare yourself to others. All right? It's not going to happen. And a lot of times that happens where we're crawling and we see somebody sprinting and we say, well, what's wrong with me? Nothing's wrong with you. They had to learn how to crawl too before they could walk, before they could run, before they could sprint. And so there is no overnight success. Okay? Make sure that you have realistic expectations, and your efforts match your expectations. Some people that are telling me, I want to make $10,000 a month or a week. I ask them, have you ever done that before? And they say no. And I say, well, have you worked hard at what you've done? And say, yeah. Well, you're going to have to do it here. It is a better vehicle, but you're going to have to do it here. Your expectations and your efforts need to be in line. You can't expect to work this thing 5-10 hours a week and get to that type of a result in a certain amount of time frame. That's unrealistic. All right, like I tell people, this is not a get-rich-quick program. It's a get-rich-quicker. Okay, we're not talking 40 years. We're talking 3 to 5 years of somebody hunkering down, putting the blinders on. You come up for air in a couple years and see where you're at. You're going to be very pleasantly surprised, especially where we're at right now with the company and the timing and positioning that we have. And so we talk about going out there and seeking the right people for your business. But if you want that to happen, you need to be the right person first. Be the right person. Be the person that you wished you could sponsor. Are you that? Do you wish you had 10 of you? Or if you had 10 of you, where would you be in your organization? If do you need to change a few things so that if you had 10 of you, you would be at the top of this compensation plan? Be the right person. Be that person. Lead by example. Be positive and energetic. Be loyal, not only to yourself, to the company, to your people. Be loyal. You need to set the standard of how you want your team to be, and be that. And then, once again, you're going to attract those like-minded individuals. And not only are you going to attract it, but you can expect that out of others because you're doing it yourself. So as you're going and creating this business of yours, you want to see what you can do to integrate this business into different aspects of your life. Whether it's holding meetings, or they call them mastermind groups, or you're talking to people, or you're consulting with your sponsor. going through kind of the apprenticeship program that we talk about. Remember that you always want to make sure that you're creating a culture within a team. Even though this is a business that you're a part of, Rain International, you're really building a business within a business. Now that needs to that culture needs to be in line with the culture of the whole company, because if it's not, then we can't help you. You're out doing your own thing. If you try to totally isolate yourself from what we're doing here as a company, then all the tools and the training and the resources and the everything that we do aren't going to, you're going to have to recreate yourself. So that's why it's important that you not only edify your upline, but you're edifying the company. But you are creating a culture. The culture that I was a part of was, we were a culture that went to events. We were a culture, when I first started in this industry, that was one of the best dressed groups at the event. That was something we took pride in. You went to an event, we were going to be the best dressed people at it. And not only were we going to be the best dressed, but we were going to be there. That was just something that we did in our culture that I didn't really have to, after a certain amount of time, when you're talking about 15, 20 levels deep in your organization, it wasn't something that we had to really pound into people, because they just saw it. They were born into that culture. What's the culture that you want to have in your organization? Okay. And in your team, and go out there and do that and be that. So make sure that you're reviewing your goals and that you have accountability. If you have somebody that you've shared your goals with, maybe it's a spouse, maybe it's somebody in your downline that or upline, that you've told them, this is what I'm going to do this week, this month. This is what I'm going to do before convention. This is what I want to get recognized at on the stage at convention, in front of everybody, in front of the world. Get that out there. Make sure that you stay focused on your goals. And remember that it doesn't really matter what the distraction is. If there's a distraction taking you from where you want to get and where you're trying to go, they're all equal. All distractions are equal. Okay, we're all going to be dealing with problems and circumstances that come up. It's life. It's just life. But remember that the richest and most successful people in the world solve problems. They're problem solvers. There's no such thing as a problem to them. It's just an opportunity, for them to become better and strengthen themselves and learn and grow. There's, that opposition is what makes us stronger. So realize that as you're reevaluating your goals, the obstacles will come up, and it's not just for you; it's for everybody. It always has that effect on anybody. There is opposition in all things. It's just part of being in the universe. And stay focused on your goals, knowing that if you get distracted, no matter what that distraction is, it's keeping you from where you're trying to go and what you're wanting to do. Do you need to have a friendectomy? Are there people that are holding you back? Okay, that you need to make sure that you're in the right mindset. I had a millionaire, one of my mentors, tell me once that you are the sum of your 5 closest friends. You're the sum of that. So who are the people that you hang out with the most? Are they people that are builders, that are going to build you up and build and give you that inspiration to go out there and push harder and do more? Are they people that are wreckers? Are they people that tear people down? Are they successful? Once again, I love all people. I'm a people person, and it doesn't really matter, I love people. But who are your 5 closest friends? Because you are the sum or the average of those 5 people. Make sure that you're putting yourself in an environment where you're going to excel and where you're going to get that support, because we can't do anything alone. Guys, we're going to have those bad days when we need somebody to build us up. We're going to have those days when we maybe even doubt our own ability, and if it's even going to happen for us. We're going to have those days. And when we do we have somebody that's going to say, I told you so? Or are we going to have somebody around us that says, you know what? Get back up on that horse. Let's do this thing. You can do it. You can do it. I know you can. Because that's the type of person, one, that we need to be, and those are the type of people that we need to be around. All right? So just remember with the system, everything that we're trying to do, and I love seeds. I love how powerful seeds is. We all have, think about it, seeds are applicable in all aspects, even in our lifestyle. Everybody has seeds of greatness within them. We're all capable of doing so much more and accomplishing so much. And even with our training system, I love it when we look at seeds. This is what we're trying to do. Everything that we do, we want a simple, effective, educational, duplicable system. That stands for seeds. And I want you to think about that as we talk about the question isn't, is what we're doing working? The question is what we're doing, is it duplicable? Does it duplicate? Is it a system? It's not a question of whether it works. It's a question of, does it duplicate? So as you get into this system, make sure that as you're teaching the system, it's not just something for you to teach. It's something for you to do. And a lot of times what I see happen is people get in their organizations and they get things going and moving, and they get into management mode. All of a sudden now all they're doing is managing. They're consulting all day and they're managing. Don't get stuck doing that, because your business is not going to grow like it could if you get stuck in that management type mode. You need to be in the trenches with your team. You need to lead the charge. Okay, we're looking for generals, not managers. People, will follow a general or somebody that's going into a crusade that's leading the charge. And that's what we need to do and the way that we need to approach this. And so just realize that this is something that we need to follow. My one of my mentors would say that the richest people in this industry master the art of two things. The richest people, they master the art of recruiting, and they master the art of promotion. Okay, they're amazing recruiters, and they never stop recruiting. They never get into that management mode. They never stop recruiting. Okay, and the second thing that they do is they're amazing promoters, always promoting the next thing, whether it's the training, whether it's the call, whether it's the event, whether it's the product. They're always promoting. That's a training in and of itself that we'll go over, the different aspects of promotion. But I want you to think about that. Okay, the most successful, wealthiest people in our industry do those two things. They don't get into that management mode. All right. And so as I talked about making about the tools and about the system, as we do this, we're going to be able to be that type of a person that can step away in the future and live the lifestyle that we're talking about, because we've created and built it right. We haven't created this dependency on us. So as you go out there and set the pace, realize that the speed of the leader is the speed of the team. If you want your team to work hard, work hard. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to weekly meetings too, and I've even had, people in my organizations in the past get frustrated. Nobody's bringing anybody anymore. We used to have a lot of new people at these meetings every week, and now we're just, there's like one new person. And the first thing that I'm going to say is, how many people did you get there? If you want your people to continually bring new people, how many new people did you get to the meeting? How many new people are you getting on the calls? Because if they see that you're bringing 3 or 5 people still, you're setting the pace. The speed of the leader is the speed of the team. As you grow in your organization, don't be afraid to go out there and get additional help. If you're a silver, go look for a gold. If you're a gold, go look for a platinum. Look for somebody. That's one of the things that I always taught is, as you go up the ranks, try to find somebody in your upline at the next rank that can help you do that. I'm not saying that you still can't consult with your sponsor if you're a higher rank than them. You still should. But what I'm saying is, somebody that's done it's going to be able to help you get there and do it. The good thing about our compensation plan is, even if you have somebody move faster than you in your in the compensation plan, you're not going to get penalized. We're not going to not pay you because they did better than you. But what we got to realize is, this is a team effort. And if I'm a manager and I've got somebody underneath me that's a gold, I want to go up above me to someone who's a platinum or higher and help my person. Because if I'm a manager, obviously there's some things that I'm doing. Either I'm not able to put the time in like I need, or this or that. I want to get my people help, and that helps. So I always say, look up line. Look up line for a person that's the next rank higher than you. And ask them. They're the one that's going to be able to help you as well. Get to that level and rank with the sponsor above or between. that can support you as well. So remember, as a new member, your role is to be an apprentice. You're trying to learn this thing. Don't come thinking that you know everything. You know, as you've heard me say probably a million times, people ask me, Byron, what does it take to succeed? Out of all the years that you've been doing this and the people that you've seen rags to riches stories out of, and the people that you've seen go out there and change their lives because of this industry, what quality do they have? What do they do? Who are they? Are they super salespeople? Are they super people? What is it? It all comes down to being teachable. Do you have a desire, and are they teachable? I cannot give somebody that passion. I can't give you that fire. Obviously, my goal is to awaken those fires within people. As we do these things, as we refuel ourselves, as we listen to the trainings and stay plugged in, we have to stay plugged in so we don't cool off. Okay? We have to. But and that helps with the motivating. But my goal isn't to constantly just motivate. Our goal is to find the motivated people. Let's go find those motivated people that have that desire. They want something better. They're not satisfied with something in their life. They want that change. And then they're teachable. They're willing to say, you know what? I don't know everything. I'm always willing to learn. I'm always willing to grow. I don't know everything, guys. I don't know everything. I'm still trying to constantly learn and grow. And I learn from you too. I don't, just because I'm the president and just because I do a lot of these trainings doesn't mean I know everything. The second that somebody thinks that they know something is they're just setting themselves up for the time they're going to get blindsided by something. We don't know everything. This is a process. This is a journey. It's not a destination. It's a journey that we're on together. And realize that we need to be that apprentice. We need to work closely with the sponsors, master the rain cycle. Okay? Bring new people in the first, our first 90 days especially. We need to make sure that we're learning these things and their approaches to get the greatest results. Even if you did it differently in another company. Even if you do it differently or you think it needs to be done differently, it's not even about having the best system. It's about having a system that everybody's marching to the same beat, beating the same drum. That's more important a lot of times than the system in general. Now, do we want to become better? Absolutely. Are we going to improve upon our trainings and everything that we're doing? Absolutely, we're going to. But the key is that we're all on the same page doing the same thing. And no matter whether you have a meeting that's done in the East Coast or the West Coast, people aren't going to go to those meetings and think it's a different company because it's different. Everything we're doing is different. How it's being done is different. How it's being taught is different. We want to make sure we're all on the same page. So there's different phases through this apprenticeship process. And that's why everybody needs to really understand their roles. There's three main roles. Okay, you're either going to be the inviter that we talk about. Okay, that's the person. When you join the business, you're an inviter. That's your goal. Your goal is not to present. Your goal is to invite. So you have the prospect or the client. That's a role. You have if it's your person, you're the inviter. All you're doing is trying to get them in front of the information or somebody else. And that inviter role also has another role, and that's the edifier. You're edifying the person that's being, this opportunity is being shown to, and you're edifying the person that's going to be doing the presenting. Help them out. Put them on a level where they already have some credibility because of how you've edified them. Help them out. I mean, I can see a big difference when I get on a phone call and I'm doing a three-way call and somebody's done a good job of edifying me. I can tell. I can feel the difference too when I'm talking to that person, that somebody did a great job, and then they edify them, and then they let me talk or present, or whoever's presenting presents. It doesn't have anything to do with about ego, or I need people to say good things about me because it just makes me feel good. It's part of the process. It's going to help as you build your business and your organization. So realize that our goal is to raise up the children and kick them out of the house. I have 4 kids. My goal is to make them great members of society. I want them to be independent. I want them to be, because I want them to be empowered to be their own person. The same thing we want to do here. If all we do is create a dependency for all of our people, then we're not empowering them. That's why these phases, we take them through these phases where you as a sponsor, your sponsor's helping you. And so a lot of times when I do presentations, when I was building, I'll tell somebody, hey, I'm going to do some presentations. If I'm going to do 2-on-1 presentations and write things down, I'm going to write down and I'm going to speak at first. Then what's going to happen is I'm going to speak and you're going to write it down. And the person that we're presenting this to is going to see. If I write something down, I need to pay attention. In the future, you're going to be writing it down. After that, I'm going to, say things, but I'm going to have you share a point or two. And then pretty soon what I'm going to do, I'm getting to a point where I'm eventually just going to pass that baton off. And now they're out there and they're the presenter talking to the people that their people are inviting. All right. And so eventually, if you do this, then that's exactly what's going on, is you're not creating that dependency. You're raising those children and you're kicking them out of the house. Every once in a while, they come back home. They need help. They come back home, and that's fine. That's why we're here for each other. But the goal is to make people independent. I see those networkers that are just beat ragged. They're run ragged because they are the ones that do everything. And if they're not there, nothing happens. And if they're not presenting, no one signs up. And if they've created dependency on themselves, they're not creating freedom. They're not creating the lifestyle. They're not creating that lifestyle. They're creating a dependency. We need to make sure that we realize these things right from the get-go, so that we're not doing that to ourselves accidentally, being the person that fixes everything, being the person that answers everything, not putting any responsibility on anybody else, making sure we're the ones that do every presentation. We can't do that. So just remember that duplication is always the key. Always stick to the system. Okay? If you stick to the system, as I say, always make sure you're clapping your hands. If the person is one hand, the prospect, and the other hand is a tool or a resource or an upline or somebody besides you, and you're putting those two things together and you're doing that all the time, you will get to that point where you have that lifestyle that you're after. All right? So part of this lifestyle is continually getting better. And that's why I love, and we put this in as a section of the rain cycle, because it's a never ending. This is something that, I see Jim Rohn said it best, and that is, for things to change, you need to change. For things to get better, you need to get better. And we do. It starts with us. It's not going to come all at once. It happens step at a time, a step at a time. It's almost like anything else. If I'm trying to learn arithmetic in math and I'm trying to step my way up to trigonometry, and I skip everything in between and try to just jump up there, I'm going to fall because the steps in between aren't there. So I'm going to fall on my face. So make sure that you realize that these steps need to be built. Okay? It doesn't happen, overnight all the time. It doesn't happen. It never happens as fast as we want it to. It never does. Okay? But that's just part of it. Just because you just pour gallons and gallons of water on your garden doesn't mean that it's just you can bypass the months that it's going to take for that to grow, and the sunlight that's needed and everything that's needed and the consistent care that's needed. I mean, that's the universal principle that we need to apply in all aspects of our life. So I tell people you need to focus on 3 main aspects. You need to feed the mind, the body, and the soul. Okay? You need to take the time to put in the good things every day. Do you know why? Because we live in a negative world. Okay? And if we just let what we see on TV and what we hear and the conversations that take place, if that's all we're doing and all we're hearing, what we're putting into the mind, that fertile soil in our minds, the seeds that we're planting in our mind aren't going to get us that desired result. So you need to make sure that you're putting the good things in your brain every single day, and you're getting rid of the negative. Okay? With your body, once again, you're the biggest billboard for yourself. You need to be a product of the product. And it's not just about taking soul or taking rain products. That's one point. It's about doing the other things, making the other decisions, taking the proper nutrition and exercising and doing those things that, if this is something that we're promoting, let people know that it's making a difference in your life, and they can see it by just looking at you, that this is changing you. Okay. So, as we always say, be a walking advertisement for yourself. And then your soul, make sure that you're reviewing your goals. Make sure that you adjust them. Make sure that you're studying, you're thinking about the best things that you can do in your life, so that you're continually putting those good things in, so we're getting that result. Like Gandhi said, a man is but a product of his thoughts. What he thinks, he becomes. What are you thinking about yourself? Do you believe, and are you putting those thoughts in your mind that you're going to be, where you're at? I want you to think about that. If you closed your eyes for a second and you put a number in your mind, how much money do you make? Do you want to make in this business? And it's not just about money. It could be a lot of other things, but I'm just using this as an example right now. Close your eyes and think. What's a number? What's the number? What is that number that you want to make? Okay, now I want you to open your eyes and I want you to ask yourself, why did you choose that number? Put a zero behind it. Put a zero behind it. Put a couple zeros. Why did you stop there? Do you realize what we have? Do you realize the opportunity that we have? Do you realize how many people need what we have from all aspects? Why did you stop there? We're usually the biggest obstacle for our own growth. We're usually the limiting factor. What can we do to take those obstacles out of the way? Why do we stop where we stop? Why do we think we can't do more, or be more, or have more, or do more? Don't put limitations on yourself. And you're going to do that as you continually grow with your goals. A goal that I had, 5 years ago, that I've blown through, I'm in a different situation now. Moving forward, continually progressing is the key. All right, so let's make sure that we're doing these things and focusing on those three aspects: the mind, the body, and the soul, on a daily basis. It's all part of the lifestyle. And let's just make that decision. What is it that's holding you back? What is it? What is it that's stopping you from going out there and taking it to the next level? From you really committing? What is it? Whatever it is, get over it. Make sure that you make that decision that you're all in. It's almost like we say crossing the Rubicon. The reason I like to use this as an example is it's because, back in the day when, Julius Caesar had his army on the banks of the Rubicon. Back then, you weren't allowed to cross the Rubicon with your armies. If you did, it was a declaration on Rome, a declaration of war. Like if you crossed that bridge, there was no going back. And Caesar knew that he was already kind of facing an arrest at Rome, but he made a choice, and it was clear. And when he took his army across the Rubicon, it was done. It was almost like the story of Napoleon, who gets on the banks of the shores and they burn the boats. Okay? There was no retreat. There was no going back. There was no plan B. This is it. This is it for me. And that's why when I started and I took this company over with the help of many others, I made a commitment to my people then and the leaders, and I said, you know what? I'm going to be the first one that stands up and does something to save this company and do what we need to do. I'm going to be the first one to go out there and make this happen. I'm going to be the last one to leave. Every single person is going to quit before I do. Every single person is. Because I'm not going to quit. You want to know why we're where we're at today? It's because not just me, but there's so many people that don't quit. You know why I know we're going to be one of the biggest network marketing companies that ever existed in this industry? It's because we won't stop until we are. We won't quit. It doesn't matter what obstacles are thrown in front of us. It doesn't matter what other people think. It doesn't matter what other people believe. We're going to do it. We're going to get there, and we're not going to stop until. And when you know for yourself that you're willing and you're going to do that same thing, then you're going to make it rain in your business and you're going to make it rain in your life. So I would just encourage you, cross the Rubicon. Do it. Make that decision. And once you make that decision, don't ask me why, but once that decision is fully made, things will happen for you at a greater pace than they ever had before. And you're going to go out there and whatever your lifestyle that you're trying to create, you're going to be able to reach it, through this vehicle. And so, just like I like to say right here at the end, and I love the statement, but you need to enjoy the journey. Okay, this is not a destination, it's a journey. If you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. Okay, your passion's not there. Find your passion. If you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. One drop of rain won't do anything. Okay, but millions of drops will nourish and change the world. We need you. I can't do this by myself. I'm not proud to say this is me. It's not me. It's us. It's not my company. It's ours. I need you. And not only do I need you, we need millions of other people. And when we get millions and millions of people out promoting rain, we are going to change the world. But it always starts with just one. It starts with one. We're going to change the world one person at a time, starting with ourselves. The greatest person you can ever sponsor is you. So just do it. And then let's go out and make it rain. Let's have rain be a part of our lifestyle. Guys, I feel honored to be able to be in this cause, in this crusade together. I'm grateful, and I feel blessed, and I give thanks for the opportunity to not only have this be a part of my life, but to have such amazing people to go down this journey with. And so I appreciate what you do and what you continue to do and the sacrifices that you make. And I know that we're going to all look back and say, man, this thing was worth it. This thing is already worth it, but this thing is worth it. So let's go out, everybody. Have a fantastic week, month, and life. And let's go out and make it rain. Have a good day, everybody. Take care.